What's up, YouTube? It's Big Beppis here, coming at you today with my first deck profile since the name change of the channel. I know you guys are probably a little apprehensive thinking I wasn't going to upload any more Vanguard content, but hey, all I'm doing is slowing down, and unfortunately during this quarantine that we got going on here, I got plenty of time to do that, even though I am an essential employee here. But as you can see, I don't have a starter today, but there's a good reason for that. But, guys, I am really excited to bring to you my brainchild of this new Premium Genesis list that focuses on Astral Poets. Like, yes, Astral Poets, but, there's a twist. No Valkyrian whatsoever in the deck. So we're actually gonna start from the triggers and work our way back. So you know, we're gonna go from the zeros, work our way up to the threes. So our trigger lineup is pretty standard. It is 4v heal, 4v crit. I only run 3 Tablet Angel here because I only own 3. You can run 4 if you want, or you can just run 4 vanillas. It really doesn't matter. So I'm running 3 Tablet Angel and 1 vanilla. 4 Goddess of Sound Sleep Taro. She is super important to the deck, and she is our starter. That's why I don't have a regular starter here. And then of course 4 draw PGs. So we run vanilla, or we run Rainbow Triggers because this deck isn't designed to play the grind game, so we don't need Dreaming Dragons. We don't have to worry about decking out and stuff like that. That being said, so we use Taro as our starter because we want at least 1 Taro and Soul for our big first stride turn, our big power turn. So that's why we run her as the starter. Plus, it also allows us to make a little bit more space for our grade 2s, because we need to do that in order to run our grade 2s and our grade 3s that we want. So that's the trigger lineup. Pretty box standard Rainbow Triggers. So for our grade 1s, we're running 4 copies of Daike of the Just Path. He is the new one of the new trippers from the Astral Force. So he's got a skill, Vanguard Rearguard. When placed, cost, put a card from your hand into Soul. Look at 7 cards on the top of your deck, reveal up to 2 Astral Poet cards from among them and put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you reveal 2 cards, get an imaginary gift force and put that marker on your Vanguard circle. So this guy, he's got a few uses. First, he allows us to consistently find our grade 3s. Second, if he finds 2 of them, we get a force marker. So if we ride this thing turn 1, we can get a force marker, force 1 or force 2. But just imagine going second, ride this, reveal 2 grade 3s and get a force 2 marker. Now all your swings are going to be with that extra crit and there's extra pressure there. But he can also, he's good to get, like, say if we draw into our Taros, we can put the Taros into Soul with Daike. So next up we have 4 copies of Astral of the Full Heavens. She is from Infinite Deity Cradle. She's got 2 skills. Vanguard Rearguard, when placed, draw a card and put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If this unit is on Vanguard Circle, Soul Charge 2. That is a mandatory skill, which can be unfortunate at times, but regardless, it's very useful for hand filtering. And then her second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, it boosted Soul Blast 2 and return this unit to your hand. So that's important because it's battle phase Soul Blasting, which means it is triggering. You can use it to trigger Taros in battle phase, and that's what this deck wants to do. So she's allows you to dig for what you need. She can also put triggers in. She can put back triggers in deck, and then you can call down a Daike and look and shuffle the triggers back into your deck. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Now our last grade 1, I'm also going to be introducing with our first grade 2 because they work in tandem together. We have, for our grade 1, it is Late Bloomer Sorcerer Pelmet. And then for our grade 2, it is Morning Grey Sorcerer Ashwa. Oh, that's a little off screen there. Sorry. Let's do this way. Apologies, guys. It's been a while. So these guys work off of each other. They both have skills that trigger requiring the other. So we'll start with Pelmet. His skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle that it boosted, Morning Grey Sorcerer Ashwa, cost Soul Blast 1, and draw a card. That's really good. That's card advantage for 1 soul. 1 card for 1 soul is really, really good card advantage value. Unfortunately, yes, you have to be boosting a specific unit, but it doesn't matter if that unit is on Vanguard or Rearguard, so that's a plus. No pun intended. And it also is a battle phase Soul Blast, meaning we can trigger Taro. Ashwa here His skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, it was boosted by Late Bloomer Sorcerer Palmet. Cost, put this unit into your soul, get an imaginary gift force, and put that marker on your Vanguard. So he's more early marker generation, which is really good, really powerful. And on top of that, if need be, he can feed the cost for Palmet. So if you have both of them, you swing, and then Astral goes into Soul. You Soul Blast the Astral to draw a card off of Palmet. So you break even on card advantage, and you gain an imaginary gift in the process. So that's really good. Now, the reason I'm running Palmet is because there's another card. I don't remember the exact name. I'll put a picture here somewhere of the card and the name and everything. But I know it's something Makin, and it would be being run in this deck if we had access to it. I believe it's a promo that comes out in the promo packs, Volume 7 promo packs, but I don't know, with this whole pandemic going on, I don't know when we're gonna have access to them, which is why this is the best option I can see for changing that. Otherwise, I would recommend, switch the Palmets for Mach-ins, and then switch the Astros for Bobos, because this deck can actually be very, very heavily affected by damage denial. Anyways, moving on, our next grade 2 that we run is 4 copies of Angelic Wiseman from V-Series. Yes, I know that name probably brings back a lot of bad memories, but don't worry, we're not doing any crazy shenanigan loops with this. No 18 attacks at 100,000 power or anything like that. But we are able to do some really strong stuff. So his skill for his V counterpart here is Vanguard Rearguard. When it attacks a Vanguard, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2, and 3 of your units in your front row get 5,000 power until end of turn. So he's there, 2 reasons. He's there to trigger Taro, and he's also there to, buff up your attacks. That 5k can actually mean a lot more than you'd think. Being able to just eke that little extra over to make an attack be able to get through is really useful. And unfortunately, he is only at 9k, but that's because the trade-off is that he gives extra power to himself and others. And now for what I personally believe is probably the most disgustingly powerful Genesis card in the game right now, Phenomenus of the Constellations. So Phenomenus, also from Astral Force here, 2 skills. First skill, Auto Vanguard Rearguard. When it attacks, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn for each force marker on your circles. That's right, I said end of turn. There's no once per turn, no activation restrictions or anything. He attacks, he gets the power, he keeps it until the turn's over. This is the main card we want to restand with Taro, because generally by the time you're getting to your first stride where you're able to use Taro, you're going to have typically between 3 to 4 force markers, which means he's going to be getting anywhere from 15 to 20,000 power per extra swing, not on top of whatever bonuses he's going to be getting. And if he's on a force 2 marker, so example, he's on a force 2 marker, we have 3 force markers, he swings, he gets 15,000 power, he's 25,000 to crit, and then if we restand him either through a stand trigger or through a card effect, now he's going to get another 15,000 power on top of that, and it just makes it that much more difficult to deal with. So, and then his second skill is on Rearguard Circle, act once per turn. If you have 3 or more force markers, cost Counterblast 1, draw a card, which is always nice. Card advantage is always a good thing. You want to be able to find your card pieces, your combo pieces. So, but the biggest thing with him is the fact that he has that power gain ability, and because it's Vanguard Rearguard, it's also really good in the early game. So, like, say if you went first, you rode a Daike, you used Daike's skill, found 2 Astral Poets, you have a force marker on Vanguard, you're out Phenomenus. Phenomenus now swings for 15k before any other modifications. So, like, say you went force 1, that's 25k attack on your second turn. Or if you went force 2, it's 15k with a crit. That's crit pressure. Same thing, if you have an Ashra boosted by a Palmet, you gain an extra force marker. He gains an extra 5k. There's a lot of uses for this card right now in Premium, and honestly, this card is just disgusting in this deck. And I firmly believe that he's probably one of the strongest Genesis cards in the game right now. And so now, moving on to our grade 3s. So we run 4 Gleaming Lord Uranus, or Uranus, or however you want to pronounce it. He is your primary ride target because of his on-play skill. We really don't care about opening up the Astral Plane. Valkyrian's not anywhere in this deck. All we care about is that on-ride Soul Blast, or on-play Soul Blast to get a Force Marker, because that allows us to have bigger beat sticks with Phenomenus, or, or bigger beat sticks in general if we're going Force 1. And then next up, we run 4 of the Origin Deity of Heavenly Light Uranus. Then he's the new VR from Astral Force. He's literally in here for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. He gives you a marker when you ride him, and he's an Astral Poet. That's it. His other effects mean absolute nothing to us because, like I said, we're not doing anything with Astral Plane or with any Astral Deity stuff. So, and last but not least, I run 2 copies of Quaking Heavenly Dragon Astrios Dragon. If you want, you can swap out, you can run 4 Astrios Dragon and only 2 Uranus, or 2 Heavenly Light Uranus if you want, because Astrios has that extra ability to counterblast to give you a force marker. The only downside is Astrios being a counterblast. This deck is very counterblast heavy, and it does not have a lot of ways to keep its resources in check. That's why like I said, one of the biggest weaknesses that this deck has is being able to be damage denied. So that's it for the main deck. So the reason we, as you saw, we run 10 grade 3s. The reason we run Taro as the starter is, like I said, A, to get her in Soul immediately, and so I could free up that extra space so I could run 12 grade 2s, because we need as many grade 2s as we can get, because we need as many ways to trigger Taro as we can get. And this deck currently runs 12, so odds are you'll find it, hopefully. So now for the G-Zone, we have 3 complete Beauty Amaruta Aphros. She's in here. This is your first stride. This is your power stride. You generally want to have her and Phenomenus on either Force 1 or Force 2. Force 2 is disgusting because you have a 20k beat stick that's got 3 crit, and now every time it swings, it gets bigger and bigger. Force 1, you typically go if you don't have the Phenomenus, so you still have a big rear guard that you can attack with. And so she's from Premium Collection Volume 1. If you guys don't remember her skill, she's got Revelation on Vanguard, which is absolutely useless to us. And then she's got Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Until end of turn, choose one of your rear guards, it gets 10,000 power and a crit. And then if you have 4 or less cards in Soul, you draw 2, and then you Soul Charge 5. That's another reason why Gleaming Lord Uranus is our primary ride target. We want to be able to Soul Blast, because sometimes we'll have like 5 or 6, we'll have 5 cards in Soul, and then by the time we ride Gleaming Lord, we'll be able to use that skill to Soul Blast 2, drop down to 4, then stride over into Amaruta Aphros and be able to get all the effects, get the card draw, get the Soul Charge. And the Soul Charge is really important because that means it allows us to dig for Taros. Next up, we have 4 copies of Goddess of Investigation Ishtar. So Ishtar here is basically for if we get damage denied and we don't have the counterblast to use Aphros. So she's also got Revelation on Vanguard Circle. Again, fairly useless to us. But her auto skill is Auto Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 3, choose a face down card from your G-Zone, turn it face up. When a grade 1 or greater card is revealed during your drive check, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to the same number of your units as the number of face-up Goddess of Investigation Ishtar in your G-Zone. Until end of turn, they get power plus 3,000, and if the card revealed with the drive check has the Revelation ability, stand those rear guards. We don't run any Revelation units in this deck. It's essentially a standard plus deck. We technically do run 1 Revelation unit, and that's Taro, but it is grade 0, so it does not count for this effect. But she's here, so you can trigger the Taro. If you're damage denied, you still have a way to trigger the Taro in battle phase. Again, still being able to ride, get a force marker. If you throw down a Phenomenus on it, swing, restand it, swing it again, it's going to be big. If you're going Force 2, it's got big crits. Other than that, I run these as basically space filler. two Hellsky Fenrir and one Pallas Athena. They literally will never go into them. If you're going into a Pallas Athena, the game has gone on way too long, and something's not going right for either you or your opponent. Hellsky Fenrir just eats into too many resources. They're literally just there for flip fodder if need be. Your main follow-up to your first stride, if you do not kill your opponent on first stride, is this guy. Zeros Dragon of Zenith Peak Ultima. This is another reason why we really like Daike in the deck, is because Daike can grab you two Astral Poets, and a lot of the times you'll have ultimate stride fodder. So this, with Phenomenus being able to stack a stand and a crit, is ridiculous. This is also another reason why we run Rainbow Triggers, because we want crit triggers to hit off of Ultima. I mean, I don't really think there's much more else to say about Ultima. Last but not least, into our G-Guardians, we run two Goddess of the Seven Colors Iris, two Ultimate Regalia of Affection Ire, and then one Goddess of Twill Tagwoot. These guys all are just so we can get cards from our drop zone into our soul, if need be, like if we had to guard with a Taro or we healed off a Taro or something like that, be able to get them back into soul. Tagwoot, unfortunately, does need you to have a rear guard on the field in order to use her effect, but it's easier... It's easier to get more shield with her as opposed to Ire, who you need to get 4. But they're basically all just here to achieve the same thing, which is get cards from your drop zone into soul. So that being said, your main stride turn with this deck is typically Amarud Aphros having a Phenomenus on a rear guard circle, preferably on Force 2. You know, you're gonna have like a couple of like a few force markers, and it's just swing with Phenomenus, get big numbers. He's already got a crit from Aphros. He's swinging big numbers with 3 crit, and then you have at least the one Taro and Soul to restand and do it again. I have been doing, unfortunately, don't have any like actual gameplay testing to do it with, but this deck, just from testing out hands, shadow playing up against opponents, the deck has performed really well. It's consistent, which is really weird, but I'm glad about it. And on top of that, it just overall, it's probably one of the most powerful Genesis builds I've seen, and it's one I have the most confidence in currently. The last time I felt this good about a Genesis deck, guys, was back when GBT08 first came out and we first got access to Taro. And I felt that Fenrir Revelation could go toe-to-toe with some of the top-tier decks. And I was actually able to do that with my playing against my friend playing Time Leap. That's back when we had full-power Time Leap. But while I don't personally feel that this deck is Tier 1, I definitely feel like this deck can easily be high Tier 2. Like, just it's right there on the cusp of that borderline. But anyway, guys, this is my Genesis deck tech. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys try it out. I really want to know what you guys think of it. I want to know if you guys try it out, how well it works for you, what you guys think, if there's any tweaks I could make. But that's it. And hopefully I'll be able to get gameplay of this sometime soon in the future. The whole pandemic quarantine is making things a little difficult, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next time. Peace.